This is Dave with Fry and Bacon Studios and another Gamesalad tutorial. In this video series, I'm going to show you how to set up your Gamesalad Game Center system and your account on iTunes Connect. We're going to look at setting up leaderboards as well as achievements. This will be a multi-part series, starting with how to set up all your things on iTunes Connect, moving on to setting things up in Gamesalad, and then in the final episode, we'll be looking at sandbox testing of your Game Center. So the first thing that we want to look at is we're going to go into Manage Our Apps. And then once in here, we're going to click on the app that we've already set up. Even though we haven't downloaded the binary yet, you can still set up your application ahead of time, register your name, and you have like 6 months to upload the game and keep everything that you have on there captured. So I'm going to go ahead and select our Pocket iPhone edition, which we're just finishing up. And then we're going to come over here to Manage Game Center, and we're going to click on that. Now, as you'll see, Game Center is enabled already by default. So if it's off, you want to make sure you enable it and keep it enabled. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go down and create some of these sections, leaderboards and achievements. Now, one of the things that I try to do as I work with a partner, and if you farm out parts of your game, it's always critical to have some kind of design document as well as a game overview subscription. What I've got here is my basic overview of Pocket. So what we're going to do is let's just shrink this down a little bit. And then we're going to bring up the sidebar so we can go and see our different elements of the design document. So as you'll see, I have different specifics set up and laid out and documented so I know what everything is. So I always have the reference points to go back to my game and make sure settings are correct. This keeps it all in one place, makes it easier for me to go back and forth, and then maybe later on as well, when I'm doing other things and I haven't worked on this game in a few months, I can always go back to my design documents and layouts and look at what everything's supposed to be and supposed to be set at. This helps you work in the transition process of working between iTunes Connect and other things and not having to continually open Gamesalad and look in the code. I recommend everybody do a layout and design system ever before you start a game. This can help you really keep track of things, keep things ordered, and help you see possible conflicts before they happen. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to set up our leaderboards. And as you can see, I've got a couple leaderboard setups. Now originally, this document was designed for the iPad version. So in Game Center, even though they're separate games on separate systems, I can't share the same names. That's fine, because the overall description that the leaderboard shows can be the same. That doesn't matter. It's the ID of the leaderboard that has to be different, which only I'm going to see. It's going to be behind the scenes. So since this is called Pocket Edition, I'm going to just add a prefix of PE to the end of everything, or add it in there. The same with my IDs. That way I keep everything in sync between applications, and I know the extensions I've put on there, as that's the difference between the two names of the games. One is Pocket, one is Pocket Edition for the iPhone. This keeps everything really organized, and I'm not moving between different language for my stuff and getting confused and that way messing up my code. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of the leaderboards. So we're going to go ahead up and we're going to choose the leaderboard type, and we want a single leaderboard. Now my leaderboard reference name, and anytime you get confused, just come over to the question marks and it'll tell you what they're for. Now see, this is an eternal name, so I can make this whatever I want. So I'm going to call this Pocket Edition. Now the leaderboard ID, this is the one that's going to be put into our behaviors in Gamesalad. So we need to make sure when we make this, we use the proper capitalization or lowercase, stay away from special characters, and just try to keep it as simple as possible. So this leaderboard is going to keep track of how many wins you've got on hard mode. So we're going to call this Puckett PE hard. And then we're going to come down and we're going to choose our format type. This is just the kind of score that we want to keep track of. If you want to have it decimals or you want to track time, whatever it is, you just need to make sure you have the proper type of attribute that you're going from one type in Gamesalad to the same type of attribute or format you're going to on Game Center. Just like we do when we go to game level attributes from inside Gamesalad. We want to make sure that the attributes match type for type. So now we're going to go and select best score, as this is just going to keep adding to it and how many wins you have. We don't need to do a sort order, but I'll select one anyways because it's always going to be one score. I don't need a range option because it's, once again, for me, it's only going to be a single score, how many wins you have. So now we're going to come down and select our language. And since this is for the American, I'm going to do English. Now the name, this is going to be the name displayed of the leaderboard. So we're going to put in there most wins on the hard level. And we're going to make sure we do the same format as we're in integer. We don't need a suffix. I'm not going to put anything on the end of it. And I don't need another score format, plural. I don't need that. You can add an image if you want to have an image that we demonstrated or shown alongside that in the leaderboard. I'm not going to use that option. So we're going to go ahead and save it. We've got all our information in there. Make sure you document your leaderboard ID, as you'll need that when we go into Gamesalad. And you can go down here and see what you've typed in. Make sure everything's all set up. And then also, you can add other languages to this area so that if you want your scoreboard displayed in more than one language, you can. So we're going to go ahead and save it. And now we can see that my leaderboard is set up and it's the default leaderboard. And I've got another leaderboard I'm going to add, but we won't do that now. Let's go ahead down to the achievements. So we're going to go ahead and select Add Achievement. Once again, we have a reference name. This is an internal name. So my first achievement from my document is the fight. So I'm going to put fight. And then my achievement ID, once again, this is the code I'm going to use in Gamesalad. And you see I have PIA and they're capitalized. Case is very sensitive, 1. So I'm just going to add Pocket Edition to this in before after the PI. So I have Pocket Edition A1. And then you set how many points you want for each achievement to be given. You have 1,000 points. What I've done in Pocket is, since I've got 10 achievements, I'm just giving them each 100. I don't want to hide it. And it's not going to be available more than once. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to add my language once again. I'm going to choose my language, and then once again my title. What's going to show in Gamesalad. And the name of this achievement is Fight. And then you put the description of what it takes to earn that achievement. I'm not going to tell them exactly how that happens, as it's computer controlled and it's kind of a surprise. So I'm just going to give them a basic description of what to look for in the game. So when they trigger the fight event happens, they'll earn this achievement. and then earn description. This will be what pops up when they've earned the event or the achievement. So I'm going to put "You're a real brawler." I think I've spelt that right. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I have to make sure and just check. Yep, all set. Okay, so now I am going to use icons because it's really a cool way to really show off your achievements, makes them more interesting and more exciting to see. So we're going to go ahead and find our fight icon, fisticuffs, fight image. And we're uploading, and there's our image, and we're going to save it. Now I've got others that I need to add in here as well. And so once we do save, you can come back in and continue to add achievements until you add them all. Now you're only going to get 1,000 points. So you need to adjust your point values. You can assign them different values, but the total needs to end up to be 1,000. So this is basically all you need to know to set everything up on the iTunes Connect end of doing Game Center. In the next video, we'll look at how we set everything up and translate everything we just did here in iTunes Connect into Gamesalad using the Gamesalad Game Center behaviors. With another tutorial, this is Dave with Fry and Bacon Studios. I'll see you in the next video.